Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Global Happenings Today YouTube channel. While APC PDP is battling so much internal crisis, it looks like LP, that's the Labour Party, is basking in so much euphoria of so many victories recorded. Well, as we speak, it looks like a lot is going on in APC. Masari, the running mate of Bola Tinubu, and his surges have decided to make a quick one. Well, for LP, there seemed to be good news all along. Donyo Okunkwe has resigned, has withdrawn. We're going to find out exactly why he did what he did. And there seemed to be a mass defection from everywhere to LP. LP is a party to beat. Let's quickly go into the news. We're going to ram all this juicy news into one. Before we do that, please subscribe to our channel. Click on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you will see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Let's start with what Donyo Okunkwe did and what is happening in LP. Then find out why there seemed to be a low case within APC against Bola Tinubu. All right, ahead of the 2023 presidential elections, Donyo Okunkwe, the vice presidential placeholder of the Labour Party, has submitted his withdrawal letter from the position. Report has it that according to Okunkwe, a replacement will be announced shortly by Barrister Julius Abure, the national chairman of the party. I quote him. He said, this afternoon I submitted my withdrawal letter from the position of the vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party to INEC. A replacement will be announced by the national chairman of the party shortly. I feel greatly blessed to have been part of the foundation of success for the Labour Party. Wow, this is quite interesting, which means hopefully before 48 hours, we should be hearing good news emanating from LP, and we'll be knowing who the vice presidential candidate will be. In another news, while there seem to be no problems, no hassles for Peter Obi and his placeholder, there seem to be court cases moving on in the case of Bola Tinubu. Let's find out exactly what the case. Well, as we speak, two chieftains of the All Progressive Congress APC, Sakari Magari and Zubanatu Mohammed, on Wednesday approached the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja, praying it to bar the party from replacing Alhaji Kabiru Masari as the running mate to Ahmed Bola Tinubu in the forthcoming presidential election. The plaintiffs, who identified themselves as delegates that voted in the recently conducted presidential primary of the party, equally prayed the court to restrain the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) from accepting any other person as Masari's replacement pending the hearing and determination of the suit. Cited as first to fourth defendant in the suit marked FHC/ABJ/CS/1059/2022 are the APC, INEC, Tinubu, and Masari. Specifically, the litigant asked the court to, among other things, determine whether, having regards to the combined effects of Section 142, subsection 1, and Section 29, subsection 1, 31, and 33 of the Electoral Act, it is legally permissible for Masari to withdraw as the vice presidential candidate of APC and the running mate of Tinubu so as to be substituted or replaced with another person by APC as its candidate for the office of vice president for purpose of the February 25th, 2023 presidential election. They also want the courts to determine whether, in view of the joint ticket provision in Section 141, subsection 1 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, with the withdrawal of Masari as the candidate for the office of vice president does not entail the automatic withdrawal of Tinubu as APC candidate for the office of president for the purpose of 2023 general election. Whether, having regards to the provision of Section 29, subsection 1, 31 and 33 of the Electoral Act 2022, the first defendant, APC, is entitled to submit the name of any other person to replace the name of the fourth defendant, Masari, as the candidate for the office of Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, without holding a fresh primary election to produce a fresh presidential candidate, as well as whether the third defendant, Tinubu, having nominated the fourth defendant, Masari, in compliance with Section 141, subsection 1 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 1999, the third defendant can subsequently validly undertake or even effect nomination of any other person to replace Masari, and whether upon withdrawal of the fourth defendant or under any other circumstance in view of the provisions of Section 33 of the Electoral Act 2022. The plaintiff argued that Section 187, subsection 1 of the Constitution created the governorship candidate and deputy governorship candidate joint ticket, just as Section 141, subsection 1 established the joint ticket for the presidential candidate and vice presidential candidate. Meanwhile, no date has been fixed for hearing of the matter. It will be recalled that both APC and the Labour Party had, in a bid to beat deadline, submitted tentative names to INEC as placeholders for the vice presidential candidates, with the intention of submitting them afterwards. Well, for APC, for LP Labour Party, that has been done, has been concluded. Okunkwe has resigned, and honorably so. There seems to be a lot of jubilation. I congratulate you, sir. I respect your integrity. No hassles anywhere. There's nothing like, why would you remove me? After all, you have put me as vice president. Look at Masari. For some of us who don't know Masari, some people have been shouting Fulani here and there and all that. Masari is actually from the north, and a lot of people are saying he's actually from Fulani man, and I thought by now there would have been some sort of agreement, although Bola Tinubu said he's actually okay with Masari, but he's still consulting. And now some surge is somewhere, although it's not Masari that's taking the matter to court. But his loyalists somewhere, some loyalists who claim to be very loyal to Masari and the rest, are insisting that why not, if not, he was on his own. They brought him in that if they would drop Masari, by all means, Bola Tinubu should also come down, because it's a joint ticket, just like governorship and deputy governorship position. So if Masari is dropped, then there should be a fresh election, as fresh primary election. I'm sure APC does not have all those time, but the question is, why all this? Was there no agreement before now? Look at how LP honorably tendered the resignation. As for Okugbe, understanding the times, understanding the dynamics, that there can't be two Southerners running the show, and besides, he's the DG. Campaign DG of Peter Obi, so he understands. Well, of course, while we are still talking about it, there seems to be so much massive defection of PDP members, APC members to LP. Obviously, from all indication, LP is a party to beat. Well, let's meet in our comment section. What's your take? This is definitely not getting funny at all. I just hope that this will not degenerate to something more sinister. Don't forget that you just have a shorter period for the deadline. We don't know if eventually Masari will become the vice presidential slot, vice presidential candidate for Bola Tinubu. If it ends this way, then obviously we have a Muslim ticket in APC. That's going to wrap it up. Let's meet in the comment section. What's your take? Do have a nice time.